Hey everybody, welcome to the daily update for Wednesday, January 7th, 2025. Sometimes you're just in the mood for a cheesy 70s AM hit. Thunder Island by Jay Ferguson. I don't know. I came across that song when I was on my trip to Vegas and it's stuck in my head. By the way, I'm super tired. Like yesterday I got back from Vegas. I'm like this. Today I'm like fall off a cliff. So it's going to be a little bit shorter today, I think. Let's get to the action. We'll get Jay out of here. See you, Jay. Okay. Today, we had that choppiness like we had yesterday. We cleared yesterday's high like we did, well, here, right? And then we started to go and we saw that spread in the 5, the 9, and the 20, and it looked like it was going to be a repeat. But then things changed midday. We rolled over, we bounced off of the high from the previous day, and then we just kind of creamed over. There's the 20 that comes into play, and then we see the selling close pretty much at the lows of the day. Same thing across the board, except for IWM, which actually held up pretty good, relatively speaking. So IWM was, well, actually, the Qs were positive. That's interesting. So Qs are positive. So what does that mean? What does that mean for the market? Well, look, I entitled this daily update, Two Things Can Be True. Is that what I entitled it? Let's see. Both things can be true. I'm tired. Like that bone tired where you're like, just, ugh. Like, Vegas and 58-year-old guys, not compatible that much anymore. So, two things can be true. Like, for example, something can be in a short term uptrend while it's in a long term downtrend. You can have sectors that have some stocks that are doing well while others aren't. I talked last week, I guess it was on Monday, about the move after the move, right? So here's the move on Monday. I wanted to see a little bit of a basing, and then the move after was where I thought we'd see a lot of setups. We didn't get that sort of action. We continued yesterday. Now maybe we're going to get the move after the move. We stopped here. Um, we tried to get into extend new all-time highs, but is that a big deal? Like here, let's take a look here. So that was the previous high right there. Okay, we got above it yesterday. We tried to continue today. We pulled back a little bit. We're still above the 8. We're still on top of this range. This is not a false breakout at all. It could turn into one if we start coming down hard and we see volume pick up. But it's just, I think the normal resistance that we're going to get at all-time highs, a little bit more aggressive. I don't particularly like this bar. That's almost a bearish engulfing, but still above this old resistance level. You could look at it this way. Here's the old high. We broke above it on Monday. We continued above it on Tuesday. And now we're kind of pulling back a little bit, maybe a little aggressive, but we're still above the 8. And you look at IWM, which looks great. That's the, great sort of bar that you want to see after this 3-day move up off the 50, still way above the 8. And Qs, ran into resistance exactly where we thought they would. So why is it both things can be true? Because we're running into some resistance here on the indexes, but we also have some names on our list that are getting ready to set up. A lot of them are getting ready to set up on that move after the move that I thought maybe would happen here, but possibly could happen here. So before we do that, let's go through all the indicators, then we'll look at what's on the lists. Okay, so